Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Okay. Perfect. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Serge Berger here from thesteadytrader.com. This is our morning call for today. Quick programming note for those people that are here already. I'm going to be on an actual vacation next week, not some sort of a pseudo vacation. So next week I'm actually off. So no set the market next week. That is the sort of quick housekeeping note for next week. So after today, the next time we'll be back with the set the market is going to be Monday, I think it's the 4th of August. So just so you guys know, it is correct. It is. I appreciate it, Daily Trader. It is Ticker Thursdays as well. So if you have a stock you would like us to go through, please let me know, and we will take a look at it. What I'm going to look at here today, I want to give you guys an update on sort of where stocks are and implied volatility, because I think there's a bit of a, typically when you're in these melt-up phases in the stock market, so we're looking at the S&P 500 here right now. Typically, when we're in a melt-up phase like this, the VIX is very low, which it is right now. The VIX is currently around, 15. And so we tend to get people to then say, well, the VIX is low, so we should buy protection. And it's never a bad idea to be hedged, right? Or at least somewhat hedged, I should say. But I think when you're in a melt-up phase like we are right now, just because the VIX is low doesn't mean I have to go crazy hedging. I personally am hedged in my portfolio, but that's largely also because I am going to be on vacation next week, and I just don't want to sweat it, so I put on a hedge about a week ago or whatever it's been now. But I also do some pretty quick trades here and there in the market that are not hedged, right? So I do stuff around the perimeters. But I just want to quickly bring this out because we've received a few questions over the past few days, and also in the boot camp of the past 3 days, which hopefully all of you that joined the boot camp enjoyed it. What the emails largely were implying was that the VIX is low, so it's time to buy puts. And it's a time frame question, right? To me, there's no question that at some point we'll see some mean reversion move in the S&P, whether that's 5 or 10%, I don't know. But the timing is questionable, right? Which is, of course, why we use our momentum indicators like the trend ruler or the TST trender indicator. But I just want to quickly point that out. So just because the VIX is low, particularly in the summer months when things can just bubble higher, uncontrollably seemingly, I don't think a low VIX alone is a reason just to go ahead and buy a ton of puts. Again, having said that, it's always good to be hedged. So I just wanted to quickly point that out. That's number one. Number two, please make sure if you're new here, you subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out to be able to get you the analysis, so you don't have to rely on email or anything like that. And also, please give it a thumbs up like on the video. That helps us to be able to continue the show because the algos end up picking it up. Thirdly, let's get to a couple of ideas. Now, one part of the market that I am watching very closely, which has now historically low valuations, and valuations are a very difficult way to make a living from a trader's perspective. But I'm increasingly looking at healthcare, and there are individual names there like Lilly and so on and so forth that I want to see if they can start to gain more strength. You could make the argument that we're starting to see a little bit of better price action in the XLV. That's the ETF that tracks the sector of the S&P 500. That's healthcare. I'm not quite there to make any like a wildly bullish calls, because if we follow our trend following models, which are on our market rover, I can see that healthcare as a sector is still absolutely nowhere near a bullish trend. In fact, it's deeper red. That's the background color. But we are starting to see, some better price action, particularly around the biotech space. So you will notice that biotechnology, the IBB ETF, has slowly turned from bearish trend to neutral trend. That does not make it a bullish trend, right? You can see there's no green here, but it's slow and it's at the margin. So that's something that I really want to pay attention to here right now. Before we get to some individual stocks, I want to or that you guys may have questions on. I do want to bring up Texas Instruments again, and I do want to bring up I think it was American Airlines. So we talked about Texas Instruments yesterday, and you can see that the stock ended up actually closing more or less near the lows yesterday, and the stock was down about 13.3% on the day yesterday. Now, the reason the stock was down was to a good extent because of its wide guidance. If you look at another stock that had pretty wide guidance this morning, that's American Airlines. They just reported numbers this morning. And, we can be technical about this and draw some lines. It's not like a major, catastrophe for the stock. It's trading pre-market around 100. Oh, that's not American Airlines. I'm an idiot. AAL, sorry. Stupid. Actually, funny enough, it looks like the same stock. But this morning, this stock is trading down around, let me quickly bring it up. AAL. It's trading, actually, it is quite notably. I was looking at the wrong stock. It's trading around $11.80. So that's about down here. Let me quickly give you the annotation. So $11.80. That's about here. Okay. So what we're seeing now, these are two stocks that have guided very wide, which means, the outcome of what they would expect in terms of earnings for the next quarter are wide. Low and high is very wide. And typically when companies do that, change the camera for some reason, it's because they don't really have a lot of clarity. They try to cover that up, but that's typically what happens. Now, investors and traders typically tend to look through that pretty quickly and readjust the stock to the downside. That's happening in American Airlines this morning. Again, the stock is down pre-market about, whatever this is, a few percent. Like 6.5%. And again, the same situation happened yesterday. I'm bringing this not to be alarmist. I'm bringing it up because the more companies guide wide, the more it's clear that they are not sure of what the future holds, at least for the next quarter. In the case of Texas Instruments and American Airlines, I'm going to make a decent assumption that part of that's due to tariffs. Part of that, I don't know the whole story. But I would be mindful of that. If you want to be technical about it and that's all you look at, then you will notice that we have basically what may end up being a double top formation, which is essentially this here. You can see we had a high in November of last year and the high just a number of days ago, which were more or less at the same, almost exactly same level, and the stock now gapped lower. So these are readjustments of stock prices, and I thought I would point that out. Mason is pointing out silver. What I want to point out about silver quickly is, first of all, in the very, 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 very near term, like literally the past 10 minutes, silver has just had a bounce off of using our Vertical X Pro extreme oversold overbought indicator. If any of you guys trade futures or just trade in general, you need a indicator that tells you when something's extremely overbought or oversold. And you can, this is a 5-minute chart, Mason. So if you don't have the vertical X yet, make sure you get with our team to get it. This is, you can see when the stock gets either extremely overbought or oversold. We get these arrows. So this is a live chart. So if you trade futures or you're just a quick trader in general with anything, stocks, whatever, this is silver futures. You can see how it got oversold. We got a valid buy signal at, what is that, 10, 15 minutes ago. And so far, silver is straight up, right? So that's it. And very, very, I don't know what the question is, Mason, you know, but that's what's happening right now. We're very bullish silver, you know, through a multi, you know, longer term perspective. That's just the very, 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 very near term right here, right now, for the past 15 minutes. So hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully some of you guys that use the vertical X are making money on that trade right now. I wish I was. I'm obviously talking to you guys right now. Okay. So let's talk about a couple of stocks. What are the stocks that you guys are looking at? It's important. So it's Ticker Thursday. So let's take a few minutes taking some stock symbols. What I would like to point out is that it is earnings season, right? So when you look at a stock here, you're going to have to keep in mind when that given company is reporting its next earnings, next batch of earnings. So I don't know, you know, how well versed everyone is with when any given stock is reporting earnings. But let me know what tickers you guys would like to take a look at, and we'll be I'm happy to pull them up. So to me, just quickly going back to Texas Instruments, you know, when I look at something like TXN, what I like to do in a situation like what we have right now is I don't necessarily see a directional movement very favorable. What I would prefer to do is make the call that the stock, after such a big, you know, dumping, that it's probably not going to go right back up here again. So from an options perspective, I'd like to put on an options credit spread. So that's kind of what I would be looking to do is, and I haven't done it yet. I meant to do it yesterday, but I just didn't get around to it. So it's more that after a big move like yesterday, stock down 13%, I don't think it's going to move a whole lot more. So if you guys have any individual stocks you would like me to look at, just type in the ticker symbol into the chat box. James, let's look at Arista Networks. That's ANET. And again, let's be mindful of earnings. So the first thing we need to understand, James, is that Arista Networks has earnings coming up in about 2 weeks, right? So the question now becomes, do you want to do a trade here before earnings, or do you have an investment, or what is it? Like, what I can tell you with Arista Networks is that we had a buy. Let me quickly, with a momentum buy signal, let me quickly bring it up in our trend ruler indicator. That's our momentum indicator. You can see we had a buy signal back in April. Then we had a sell signal that did not work, and the latest signal came on June 24th, and that signal remains valid. So the stock continues to go higher. It's up about 19% right now, and we have a trailing stop that's currently around $105.50. Benita wants to look at IBM. Okay, now IBM, let's see, they just had their numbers. I think they had them yesterday, didn't they? Let me just make sure. Yeah, they had their numbers yesterday. The stock didn't do a whole lot. So we have a new momentum sell signal here in IBM. Benito, I actually, to me, in order to do something on the stock, I need to see it break below that recent low here. So maybe below 280. I'm actually going to set an alert on this one myself, because if we do get the stock to drop below 280, then we also have a more verified momentum sell signal. So, for example, Benito, for IBM, you can see the last two momentum signals we got. We got a momentum buy signal on the 2nd of May, and of course now we're getting a momentum sell signal. So that's kind of it. But again, I'd like to see the stock drop below 280 if we could before putting on a trade here on the downside. That's my my view. And then, of course, we have to, well, actually, let me see where IBM is pre-market. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, I see, because they reported earnings after the close. Okay, gotcha. So let's see where the stock, so I mean, first of all, the stock just reported numbers, right? So it's currently trading around 262. That's about down here. Okay, so never mind, right? So the stock is trading 262 pre-market. So I guess that sell signal worked, right? You could say that. But if, I don't trade stocks through earnings, so that's not my thing. But what we could do now is we could now see what you could now see how the stock looks, what the stock looks like after earnings. You want to give it some time to react to the earnings report. So I usually wouldn't do a trade right away. I would wait for the stock to kind of react a little bit here. So I need to see how it reacts today. It's honestly too early for me to tell. Nicholas is saying, you have not exited LNG yet. Yes, we did. We removed LNG. I'm going to say, if you must be an Inner Circle member, Nicholas. We removed LNG 2 days ago on July 22nd. Check your email for that. But yes, LNG is no longer on our longs, and that is because it didn't act well. LNG, the company, has earnings coming up August 7th. So no, I'm not going to hold this stock when it doesn't act well. This is a natural gas play. I still like the way it looks, like sort of multi-month, but right now here, if it can't get its act together, obviously I don't want to hold it. Lastly, let's quickly talk about Google. Obviously, this stock had an impressive run over the past few months. They had an interesting sort of earnings report in the sense that everything looked really well. The stock is pre-market trading around 196, which is about up here. To me, it would seem rather easy for the stock to start filling that down gap around, 200 and low 200s, $203. So, if I want to kind of see if it can float higher, that might be a trade to do. The stock's up a little bit. It's trading around $197 pre-market. So that would be one idea. But again, I need to see what the stock looks like. Yeah, Fabian, I mean, with LNG, we were trading the stock, not natural gas itself, right? So LNG here is an actual stock. It's Cheniere Energy, and it's actually been a good stock for us to trade, to be honest with you. But again, it's just not acting well. It's just choppy. So I'd rather wait for it to report earnings to do something here. So that's our view on that. So that is all I have. I hope this was helpful for everybody. If you are a Trade Ops member, we'll see you guys over in the members area here in a few minutes. We'll see if there's some trades to do. Otherwise, again, I'm going actually on vacation next week, like an actual proper vacation. So we will not be doing Set the Market next week. We'll be back on, I guess it's Monday, the 4th of August, if I remember correctly what the dates are. And in the meantime, members, of course, you will be continuously updated with new trade ideas and things. And all of you here on YouTube, thanks for being here. Again, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Give us a thumbs up, like in the video, please, if you like it. If you don't, and don't come back, right? But it's great to have you here, and thank you all for the kind words.